The whole film is about him making a change and deciding to relinquish this position he's in. So I guess, yeah, the motivation. I think all films have to be about humanity. Otherwise, I'm not sure what the point of the films is. But in my case, I was commissioned to do this film by ITVS, and it had to be about the future. So I wasn't really sure what that meant. I'm not really a science fiction person, so I just sort of started writing, and this is sort of what came out. The housing crisis was really hitting at the time when I was writing it, and I felt, well, it has to be about the housing crisis, and then this kind of science fiction story grew out of that, and it completely. What was interesting to me about it was, what does one do in that time of crisis, and how does that affect your humanity, and how we quash our humanity in order to retain a certain lifestyle, and how soul-crushing that can be.
I have to say that, first of all, I'm just an extremely fortunate person to get the opportunity. And during my existence and my time making the film and meeting the guys in Japan, it just really rocked me to the core of my American ideology and how I viewed the world. And I just feel like, we have so much in this country. I know you hear it and it sounds cliche, we have so much that we take for granted, but I mean, I was literally kicking with these dudes for 2 weeks, and I mean, these guys actually, that's how they live and exist. And I can actually say by being with them that they found a certain level of happiness in their life, which says a lot. I mean, I think in this country, a lot of people have tons of things and may not necessarily be happy, so.
I think I was at my fiance's grandmother's house, actually. Almost everybody in that movie is related to my fiance. The grandmother is really her grandmother. The granddaughter is her sister. Those are all her aunts in the market. So I think her uncle was teasing me like the night before the scripts were due, and like about how I can't bargain, and I'm kind of a pushover. So like everyone who knows me kind of knows that, and so I just kind of thought, oh, like I'm always down here in Long Beach, and it would be kind of cool to show somebody learning how to not be a pushover, I guess.
I mean, it's different for me because I wasn't really the creative force behind it, but kind of coming into it as a producer, the thing that I found out connected to is reconnecting back to your humanity when you didn't really worry about the exterior part of the everyday life that can kind of bring you down when you're an adult, and kind of showing the people that you can find that place again when you were able to be happy without really worrying about anything else is what really stuck out for me.
Well, Foolishly Seeking True Love was done as part of PI last year, and we had Vanity Fair and Banana Republic as the sponsors for it. They wanted us to do city stories and something that was kind of French New Wave. I think that we definitely have the French part in there. I think when we were pitching our projects, they asked me, so where did this idea come from? And I was like, well, it's hard dating in LA. So I think that's really what it came from. Yeah, just you're in a big city and you find it's kind of difficult to connect, and yet you still want to believe that there's destiny and fate, but sometimes you just have to keep believing in it. So yeah, that's what that was inspired by.
When I read a few of the scripts, and Jared's really stood out to me the most. I think that the comedy that he wrote into it was so subtle and so different that it had a lot of stuff that we could have done with it, and it was easy to picture it right away. So it was appealing in that way too.
The majority of people in the world, if they had an opportunity, would probably like to live in their own countries and just raise their kids and their families and provide for them. But unfortunately, sometimes there are situations that are outside of your control that kind of prevent you from being able to do that. And I'd always known about my uncle's own personal story, who this was based on, in that he had been a captain in the army, and he was pretty much living a really great life in Ghana, and and then unfortunately the coup took place, and this was about the third coup in the last 15, 20 years, and he tried very earnestly to prevent it because he wanted to see the democratic process succeed, but regrettably he didn't, and so he was forced to flee the country for fear of his own life. And so that to me was really at the core of what I wanted to tell. I really love third cinema and films that give voice to people that don't normally have a voice, people that fall between the cracks. And so I just wanted to kind of show that, I wanted to put a personal slant on the immigrant story, particularly in like a cab driver. I wanted to give them a face rather than, you know, the kind of perception that they were just here. I wanted to kind of show or demarcate like an individual journey. So that was kind of my motivation for making the film.